We have a gimbal today. So things are better. So Carl, you're going to be running in and out all day. Why?
I'm cooking crabs.
How many crab did you get to cook this time?
I lost count because you kept talking to me while I was cooking them. But it's between 10 and 20. Somewhere.
Yeah, he was going to order us 10 crab, and then the guy calls up and says on the phone, bless your father and his hard of hearing, do you want 15 or 20 crab? And his father says, yeah. So I don't know what you ended up with, but we got a lot of crab. Plus 11 from last week, which he ordered 10, but the 11th one is a bonus. Why?
I honestly don't know. It's
Ghost crab. He already said.
the guy.
You better explaining it.
The guy fishing them. He is just taking money for the fuel he uses on his boat. He basically just does this for fun.
Yep, you know, your
And
father
he
knows the right people.
Yeah, and he likes helping out people who can't really go on the sea much themselves. So obviously he has no control on how many crabs decides to go in his traps. And if he has enough crab for himself and for my father, then throwing in the bonus crabs on both pots makes sense.
No, but last week he said he threw in one extra because it could be a ghost crab. What is a ghost crab?
Nah, it's not ghost, it's glass.
Glass crab, sorry. See, this is how little I know.
When the crabs just have changed their shell, there is very little food in them, and the shell is really soft. And some people are very good at picking out those crabs and just throwing them back in, so they have another chance of getting big and fat before you actually eat them. But sometimes it's very hard to say, because a crab can be heavy because it's full of water, and it can be heavy because it's full of meat. So it is it's tricky to see this difference without killing the crab and breaking it open, and that kind of negates the point.
Yeah.
So
the thumbnail, by the way, is the kind of crab that you mostly get here, or do you get the other kind of crab too? Because when I think of crab, I think of these big king ones that they have at Red Lobster.
The Russian ones, no. The Russian ones are not
Alaskan
this.
as well.
They're not this far south.
No.
So you have this type of crab, and you have the much smaller green crab that lives on beaches, but they get like this big, no more than that.
Yeah, those little ones we see, but
yeah, you'll see them if you're playing playing around beaches. The big ones are not that far out. You can occasionally one thing I used to do when I was younger is that you walk around with a strong flashlight and a rake. And you use the flashlight to find the crabs, and the crabs are also attracted by the light. So they will occasionally just walk into the light if they see a strong light.
Walk into the light! Don't walk into the light.
And then you use the rake to pick them up.
Okay. The rake was a good call. I was asking Carl about this earlier, but we thought some people might be sensitive, although we really found out what kind of crowd we have when doing the Smalahova, the sheep's head.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody looked away for that one. All of them were like, oh man, no, that's the best part, blah, 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 blah. Do you want to go and get one crab that hasn't been cooked yet and show them what it looks like?
Yeah, I can do that.
But you can bring it down here. We're not going anywhere near the pot. Although these ones do not squeal when you throw them in the pot. You have to, well, Carl can explain how he does it because I don't know how to make crab before. But what I've seen him do is you get a big pot of rapidly boiling salty water, and how much salt you put in, I have no idea. And then when it's rapidly boiling, you just drop the crab in, so it's like dead, gone. But anyway, there we go. But you got to come and show them how big they are. This one's not playing for you. There he is. Look how big the crab is.
Yeah. This one will go in the pot in about 5 minutes or so. It's female. And
how can you tell it's a female? You showed me this. I thought that was
interesting. If you look at the flap underneath her, if it is broad like this, it's a female. And if it is just narrow, like a finger's width or a little bit more than that, it's a male.
Show it up again because it went too quickly. It's the claws are on it. It's hard. He's got a death grip, so he doesn't want to move them. But actually, let's do it this way. Yeah. There. So when you can see here, this part is wide. But if it has like a stripe in the middle, this one almost looks like it does, but it doesn't. There's actually like a crack kind of thing.
No,
is that how it is?
The flap thing. This would be much narrower on the male.
Yeah. Ah, okay. The whole flap in general.
Yeah.
All right. Say bye, crab. They taste really good. I'm so sorry. And Jennifer Miller's here, by the way. We're going to make her recipe on Friday because his father sent us home with 11 crab last time. We cooked them all. Then they go right in the freezer. And now we've got a lot more. So people like me might be able to get some of the crap too next week. We also had a birthday in the village. Isak, the one who from Sweden who joined us from Lofoten and tasted the popcorn beer, if you remember him. He had a birthday last week, I believe it was. And nobody to celebrate. Oh, show your kitty cat. You have a very unique cat, and you have been telling this story, but it's been a while since you tell it.
It's not my cat, it's my father's cat.
Okay, well, you go get the cat, and I'll finish the gumbo story. So we're gonna make Jennifer's gumbo on Friday, and we've got all the employees with us, and a couple of extra people. We're doing what we can. We even got the restaurant workers to see if they can nail down the spices for us. Cajun seasoning we did fine, but Texas Pete might be a trick, and sassafras fruit or Cajun file might be. Okay, tricky. Who is this? Is this the famous Carla?
Yeah.
I'll have
She
to turn
is
it around.
my father's cat. I've told the story about the reverse cat smuggling before, I think.
Oops, there we go. Sorry. The reverse cat smuggling story. Yes. Hi, Carla. Hi. She's looking for my cats because they were in here last week. This is Carla. Why is Carla named Carla, Carl?
I believe she is named after me. Because I'm the one who did the reverse cat smuggling.
Okay, and we have told this story several times before, but there's a lot of newer people. So you're going to have to explain the reverse cat smuggling and how valuable is that cat now?
The cat cost 1,500 euros. So it's a pretty expensive cat.
It's a Siamese cat, by the way.
And I bought it from a breeder in Switzerland. So I had to go to Switzerland in the middle of the summer. So leaving the Viking camp to fend for itself.
In 2018.
For 5 days in 2018
Early
to go
days.
and get the cat.
Yeah.
And the breeder knew that if I bought this cat and showed the actual value of the cat, I would have to pay a lot of toll to get the cat into Norway. So instead of giving me the receipt and the pedigree, he just sent that in the mail.
Tell me that cat isn't
And
trying
then
to
he
pee.
told me that if they ask, just
Oops,
tell
sorry.
them that you paid 150 euros for the cat, because then you don't have to pay the tax. But I decided that I haven't done anything criminal since the 90s. So the first criminal thing I do should not be cat smuggling. So when I get to the do you have something to declare place on the airport, I basically
Customs, yeah.
walk on red and I go up. I have this cat, sir. I paid 1,500 euros for it. How much do I owe? And then he goes, do you have a receipt? And I go, do you think I'm lying to you? This cat is worth 1,500 euros. How much do I owe you? So I had to pay like 3,900 kroner to get the cat into Norway. But either that or my biggest crime in this millennium would be cat smuggling. And I don't really want that on my criminal record.
No. And so your father was so thankful that he named the cat after you. So now you have Carla the cat.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, was scratching on the floor like my cats do when they want to pee, or actually when they just finished peeing, so
No,
I'm a
I
little
think she
concerned.
wants to go out again.
No, I'll let her out of here. It smells too much like my cats in here. We have a cat cage in here for when my cats are here, but they're not here this weekend because it's just a quick trip.
She considers this part of her territory, so she is looking for the intruders, I think.
Did we see if Amazon has the spices we needed? No, we have not, but I don't think it will. For one, if it comes from the United States, the shipping, you're going to be paying like 500 kroner for spice that maybe costs 60 kroner. Anyway, I don't know if the numbers are right, but the ratio is.
Time to go and deal with crabs.
Good luck. Okay, I can show a little here. Well, first we're going to say hi to people, but you can go up. Do you want to take the cat with you? She doesn't seem to want to go.
I let the door open so she can go.
There she is. She's going to go and play with your wood carvings up there, especially the happy ones. That's not a good story. Okay. No. So then I will show you a little bit of my needle binding and I'll catch up. I can see I have my computer on today. See how much delayed reaction there is? There. Delayed reaction. If I put my hand up now. There. Let's see how long it takes. Waiting. There we are. Anyway. But I do it so it's easier to see the chat. But then I can also show you my needle binding. I thought I brought my stash busting yarn with me, but I did not. Apparently it is probably still sitting in my office in the bag that was supposed to follow with us here. I made the orange hat. That one's done. The brown hat, it probably has to be about a couple rows longer, but I'm delaying intentionally because I have, let's see, the yarn bolt. I have this much of that yarn left, which is already a pretty good dent in it. It looks full, but it's not. See how squishy? And I started making this hat with it as well, with a little bit of Carl's mom's bathroom yarn. There was 2 balls just like this. Let's see, my gimbal is not reacting. I have to recalibrate? There we go. Okay, so all of this blue in here is this much. And this, the reason why they are they're spaced out, my stripes here, is because I've spiraled it. It doesn't look like it, but you can see there's one end there and one end there. Did you stay in here, Carla? She is. She's sniffing everything. She's sniffing the bag of walnut shells I have over there. That's for plant dyeing, all those shells we've been working on. Okay. Anyhow, she can keep sniffing. But this one is a pointy top hat. So what I did is I basically increased, I think I started with like 6 or 8 stitches. And then I increased every 4th or every 3rd until it started. I made the pointy tops because a lot of people want the pointy top hats too. But there you can see the spiral, I think, if I can get that right. There you go, the start. Then it spirals around. So the thing is, it's actually 2 brown threads spiraling around each other, and every once in a while, one of the browns will change to blue. So I get a little bit of spacing in between. If I can get that to show. And I'll do that throughout the whole hat. But it was a way to take a tiny ball of yarn and make it last a bit longer. I don't know what kind of yarn this is. I do know it's wool, and it's very similar in thickness to this. It very well could be the same yarn, just really old. Don't know. But anyway, so whatever I have left of that goes on here. Otherwise, I use the other mystery yarn from the bathroom. And I'll put a base on it. We'll see. So they were in a bag, just so you know. Okay, anyway, so now I should get to catch up on chat. I will let you stare at my needle binding while I do so. Oops, there we go. Messy room, sorry. Ta-da. Wrong way. This way. There. Up there. Okay, now you can stare at my work. Let's see. So Garcia's here. Thank you. She actually had me checking out. We had a online guiding yesterday, which is why we were going to go today instead. But I did forget to write a little note about it. So thank you for reminding me, Garcia. So I did put a little note up, and hopefully you guys figure that out. Next week we have Sunday and Monday off, and we'll come back and visit again. Today's Father's Day in Norway, by the way. So happy Father's Day to all the Norwegian fathers. But I think we're coming back on Sunday and Monday again, which means we will either, depending on how the day goes, because we can leave at like we're closing early now, so we can leave at like 2 o'clock on Saturday and then start driving out here. But it is a 4 to 5 hour drive, depending on tunnel closures, ferries, and traffic. But it will be dark. So one option is we could either do it on Saturday on the way, and either we get here just in time, or we show you somewhere where we are. But that might just be sitting in the car like this with snot running down our nose going, I think I hear something. So, or we'll do it on Sunday. I'll get Carl's opinion then. But I think that's what that was anyway. Okay, more needle binding staring, and I'll catch up on chat. Ooh, messy. There we go. Who thought I was a clean person? Shame on you. Audra's here. She's in Trondheim, by the way. Garcia's in Holland. You guys are having nice weather. It was cold here yesterday. We were freezing. The online guiding was good, but we were sitting there for an hour walking around in cold. But it was so worth it because we have snow in Gudvangen now. I've got some pictures I need to post up on Viking Valley Facebook. Albert is here. Nella is here from Finland. Albert is Norwegian. Maya's here from Nevada. She has the hot spices, I bet. 31 degrees. Nice. Still making long lines of Nalbinding, and I'm trying to keep the first couple of stitches small. You can. Otherwise, you can always unpick okay, so assume this was started this way, for example. If your end stitches looked too big for you, you could unpick them a little bit, or you could slowly kind of see. If you pull the yarn or the stitch, you can see, or the end of the yarn anyway, you can see where it tightens and try to tighten it a little bit if you want to, but that tends to make a whole move from here to here to here. So you can just, but it's nice to have a little loop. But have it big in the beginning. Don't worry about it because you can always cut off or pick out the first couple stitches and make it look even. It all depends on how you start. If you start with more loops or however. Prude is here. She is in South Africa still, I believe. She's quite the world traveler this year. Anne Moreau is here from Belgium. Arlene is here from Manitoba. Susan Youngman's here from Frankfurt. Don't know. I'm going to say originally Adirondacks because it's so fun to say. And Max is here. Max, where are you from again? I forgot. And happy birthday, by the way, that you had. Matthew Hems is here. He's from Egan, Minnesota. Gotta love Minnesota. And Jennifer Miller's here. I forget where Jennifer's from, but she's got the chicken gumbo soup recipe that we will try. She said. So Jennifer says, if you're not sweating, it's not what is it? It's not worth making if you're not sweating. Was that the text she used? It was something pretty fun. Carl is back down again. Like anyway, so she has me. I gotta say she's oops. The gimbal has got to be calibrated again.
As long as my father controls the oven.
Sorry, it's not. There we go. Yep.
As long as my father controls how much wood to put in the oven.
Holy crap! Yeah.
You will be sweating even if you're eating rice porridge.
Is this the third time today he's heated and it's not that cold?
Yeah. Now, he's an old man. Old people like
Yeah, but the first thing he does is he goes to the radiator, turns up the heat, and then starts the oven. And then every time you think you're like, he starts... Thank God Carl's room is in the basement or basement type.
Now I'm following the German
advice
by using a wet glass.
Show your beer.
So let's see if that actually helps.
He, by the way, Jay, who is on Altengart, is Van Altengart, I think is the name of his beer. He's on, he's got a YouTube channel too, and I just forgot the name of it. But if you go a bit back,
the people who made this beer needs to get some control on their historical timelines.
Yeah. Okay. Now first, I'm gonna show the beer a little properly. Just a minute here. This one. Okay, so we found this one for him. For Carl, Vikings Stura. It's with an looks like a 0. Pale ale from Geiranger. Geiranger is the part that nobody wants to fall in the ocean, otherwise the big wave's gonna come and kill us all. I've seen the Armageddon movies. Anyway, you'll have to explain where Geiranger is. But Geiranger Brewery or Brewery.
It's to the south of Gudvangen. It's the next fjord over, the fjord inside of Bergen, so to speak.
So anyway, I thought he had to try this. Oh, look at that. There's a kraken. Because it said Viking Stura. What does Viking Stura mean?
A stir is where you take your boats up to a boathouse.
Yeah? Like a ramp?
No, it's usually just round logs that are kind of dug into the beach.
This is 4.7, so you're going to get mildly drunk because you're a lightweight. All right, so why do you have a problem with this beer already in the beginning? I mean, it's Viking, so how bad could it be, right?
If it is Viking, look at the rig of that ship.
Does that look like a Viking ship, or does it look like a schooner?
This would be, this is more modern than even Columbus's ship, like 500 years after the Viking Age. So this would be a 1800s type of rigging.
You know, so Viking Age. And the Kraken?
Well, that is obviously historically accurate no matter which time you're in.
So it's a pirate Viking, though, because Krakens only exist in the Pirates, or Pirates of the Caribbean. But, you know, why not Scandinavia with schooners? And...
No, the Kraken, well, something that very much looks like that thing actually does exist.
Okay, and I don't know if I can read that text through the phone. You can read it, though. It's really small, and because there's no liquid in it.
So give it to the guy who's legally blind, by all means.
That's right. You poured it before tasting, or... Anyway, but what is this? And where is Geiranger?
I just told you.
You did. I know, but I wasn't sure if I interrupted you, but apparently I did. Okay, I didn't interrupt then. Go ahead. Read the bottle. Bruda wants one. Nope, she doesn't want one. She retracted.
Viking Stør Pale Ale en spenstig pale ale, der vi har brukt rikelig med amerikansk humle.
American hops. They've used a lot of it.
Et hint av tropiske frukter. Oh, fuck you!
There's a hint of tropical fruit. You know how Carl loves his tropical fruit. How's it taste? Well, it's enough to foam your beard a little bit there.
I can see a hint of tropical fruit, but it's not as
It's pretty
it's not
color.
as obnoxious as it usually is.
Looks slightly amber.
I could have done without the tropical fruits as per usual, but it's not as bad as many of the other ones.
No. So the bottle is not the picture on the bottle is not historically accurate, but it's okay for tropical.
Well, it is historical accurate for the 1700s. If Kraken and
The Kraken and the Schooner.
yeah, if they met, this would be a good representation of what that would look like.
Yeah.
But the reason I'm not arguing about the Kraken thing is that
Oh, we gotta catch up.
you
on
have
Jet.
something called the giant octopus.
Yep.
They are really, really big.
It is really big. We saw
But
the Meg.
there is actual evidence of something even bigger.
Yes.
Because they found whales with marks of suction cups on them. So the whales basically have hickeys from something that is at least twice as big as the giant octopus. And then we are getting into Kraken territory when it comes to size.
Yep.
But I don't think I've ever seen that thing. But it lives in the deep waters. So
I thought they found a
it's
couple of them around
understandable.
Japan or something, but really
That's
deep.
the giant octopus.
That's the giant octopus. Okay, so they're even
The
bigger.
really big one, I don't think I've seen yet.
I was just going to say we saw the Meg. We finally watched the Meg. There's a big octopus in there.
Yeah.
How'd you like the Meg, Carl? Theoretically possible in the Jurassic Park sort of way?
No.
No?
And nothing there is even remotely theoretically possible. It's
It was so
just
bad.
nuts.
Okay.
If
Yeah?
a really, really rich Chinese person who knew a lot of people in the film industry got really, really drunk while watching Jaws, this is what they would come up with. And I'm pretty sure I'm not that way off when it comes to the background story of why this movie was made.
No, they have a lot of Japanese or Chinese influence. No, it's Japanese influence.
No, it's Chinese.
It's
all
Chinese
the way.
influence.
Yeah.
I like the little dog. Do you remember the name of the dog? No. I forgot the name of the dog. Okay, anyway, there's a little thing. Okay, we're going to stare at my needle binding one more time while I catch up on chat here. Because it's better than looking at the messy room or me squinting at the computer. Let's see.
No, I think my water is boiling, so I'll go and...
Your water is boiling. Yeah, for the crab. Okay. Let's see. Where else we get here? She keeps quiet, says Anne Moreau. Where is it? Oops, it just jumped on me. She keeps quiet so you forget to put her in the pot. I'll have to tell him about the crab later. The crab stays quiet so you put her in the pot. That's cute. No, we hope you love the recipe. Okay, so because I come from the bland state of Minnesota, I'm expecting to think this is too spicy for me. But fortunately, we have... I will try it, but... I think paprika is spicy. It's just a red pepper is too much for me. But I'm going to, because we have so much crab anyway, we'll just, whatever crab doesn't work with the gumbo, we'll have just separate because all we have to do is thaw it. And you can eat it as is with some mayonnaise on a loaf of bread or maybe butter. Usually mayonnaise is better in my opinion. On a white loaf. And some lemon. And it's so good. That's the way the Norwegians eat it. So there you go. PJ made it! Hey! Okay, we're going to stare at my Nalbinding one more time here while I look more. Let's see. I just had to confess about my problems with the... and my cheap yarn, by the way. This is cheap Norwegian yarn. Cortina. I got a bunch of this on sale. It went on sale. I could buy a whole bag of it for 100 kroner. As much as you could stuff in a bag. And I think I ended up paying like maybe 5 kroner a skein. We got crap tons in there. But there I am with it, 6 years later. Okay, Maya said, did you see if Amazon has the spices you need? We covered that one. Nella said that there is a nice Amazon in UK and Germany too. Oh, that's true, yeah. I get my books from amazon.co.uk because then the shipping's less, but there's no toll on books to Norway. Albert says Amazon only sends to Oslo. Last I checked here in Norway. Other than that, it's super expensive and it doesn't send here. I didn't know that actually because I've only tried to have books sent and I lived in the Oslo area, so maybe that was it. But it's been a long time ago. We had Lord of the Rings DVDs sent here long time ago when that was just released, and the toll on that thing was huge, so we don't release them too much anymore. Torben is here. Torben says, is that the famous cat Carl picked up in Greece or something? That is the one. It was Switzerland. Yep, that's the cat smuggling cat. By the way, Torben. There we go. Torben, I have to address you directly. You need to let us know. We're planning the Christmas beer tasting, and the Christmas beer tasting, we have 2 potential dates that will work. It will be either the 25th of November or it will be the 9th of December, because somebody's got to, figure out which days they don't have kids, so, they can test all this beer. And then remember what everybody asked us, what do we do with all the beer that's left over, because there's so much left in the bottle that we haven't gotten through it all. We just poured into cups. So whatever's left in the bottle, there's actually quite a bit left. And they said, we just bring them to the local drunks over at the camping place. No, they're not locals. They're not drunks, but they do like their beer. One of them is going to be joining us. He just says, let me know. Saturdays are good. I've got it. I'm going to come, and he's going to actually taste the beer with us too. He's actually a young kid. He's only about 24 or something, but they've been getting our leftovers for such a long time now, so it'll be fun to see. So Torben, we would love to have you with. So if you can break free from the family for 5 minutes. He's got a lot to do, though. He's got 2 small ones and 1 really small one. So if you can, we got some beer to taste. Just let us know which date would work. It will be either the 25th or the 9th. So PJ says the 25th of November is the long-awaited return of Doctor Who. Please don't clash with that. We might have to go on a Sunday. We'll figure it out. But Torben is going to be the deciding factor here, because the other person that we promised could join along said he could either do the 25th or the 9th. So PJ's hoping you say the 9th. You can see if you can join too, Albert. If you can get here, you can definitely come and drink the beer. If you haven't seen us do this before, it's a 2-hour special with way too little needle binding and a lot of beer tasting. Norway has a tradition where they come out with a Christmas every beer company comes out with a Christmas version of it. And so there's a lot of different ones, and you got to try them all once. Next year's version will be different. So it'll be interesting to see. Okay, I'm going to keep catching up now. More needle binding. So let's see. Albert says, my beers for this stream is Eger's Snurblonde and Eger's Juicy. Carl didn't like the juicy one, but the Snurblonde, which is the snow blonde, would be nice. I think. I don't think we've tried that one. Max says she's currently... Max, are you a boy or girl? I forget. Anyway, I'm currently making some null-binding gloves. I found a pattern from an old blog online, which Sana Marie posted. Not the mitten, but rather the traditional fingered gloves. Oh, cool. I haven't made those in a long time, so I have to find it. Jennifer says, I wonder if there's any way for me to send you the Texas Pete. Yeah, I think you can actually. But don't put too much effort in it in case it gets seized at customs, because if it's gone, it's gone. But I think you can. You have to just kind of read in whatever the rules are of what you can bring and what you can't bring. My boss is in the Bahamas now through the Florida area, etc., cruising, so she might be able to bring something like that back for us. We've sent her a wish list. Heidi Lisa is here from up in northern Norway. Yeah, Jennifer's in Kentucky, that's right. And Max is from Ohio. That's right, you said that before too. I remember doing the nasal Ohio. Let's see. Oops, it just jumped on me. If it doesn't make you sweat, it isn't worth eating. That's what she said. I'm screwed. You know I'm from Minnesota, right? That's not going to go well. We have both spices in Minnesota. We have salt and pepper. And paprika is like if we're really, really, really feeling out there. Let's see. Purdy says, I went to a Viking event, quote unquote Viking, last weekend, and I had to work so hard not to put my eyes out of their sockets. I'm assuming that wasn't a very authentic one for you, Peruta. Jennifer says, I like it hot. If you can't get Texas Pete or any other vinegary hot sauce, would work like Frank's. We do have Tabasco sauce. That one I know you can get here, and there's 2 different versions of it. There's like one with a yellow label on it. I almost never use it, sometimes on eggs for Carl. Max says, I really wish people would stop posting these stupid memes about my state. It's really annoying the hell out of me. There's a story here. Okay, I don't know about the stupid memes from Ohio, so you're going to have to tell me. All I know is that up in Minnesota, don't you know, we don't have a dialect up in Minnesota, you know. But we say Ohio is how we say it. But no, I got to hear this one. I've driven through Ohio once, but I haven't seen. Okay, let's see. But I have been watching a lot of stupid videos about just stop oil or something like that. Oh my God, I haven't seen those people here yet. And there are other ways to get attention than to make people idle their cars. Okay. Anyhow, let's see. More needle binding steering. Karsten is here. Hey, welcome back, Karsten and Dordo. It isn't late, but they made it from Flensburg, saying hello. They're from Germany. Prudis, this guy did that. I read that one from Pruda. Let's see. Maya says, oh, okay, thanks for that. And yes, I have a lot of spices and sauces. I sent a box, I think it was $90 at the time in 1997, to send one box of all my spices here when I was moving spices and herbs that were dried. It took 6 months to arrive, which is ungodly long time, but it was definitely retaped. They went through that whole bag, or that whole box, because it probably looked bad with the green leafy substances in there. Max says, anyway, the finger gloves I'm making from Nalbinding is in the Mammon stitch I'm using. I like that stitch. It's good for a little bit thinner yarn. Thinner than this. This is just Oslo that I used, by the way. So Mammon, you would have, this is my leader yarn, 1 loop on the thumb, but instead of using 1 loop behind the thumb, you use 2, and it makes it just a little denser. So if you're using Oslo and it starts looking too lacy for you, then you can do Mammon. This yarn isn't too thick for Mammon either. It would just make it a bit tighter. But this is kind of loose fitting. I don't know if you can see the holes through there. A little bit. There we go. So if that's too holy for you, then add 1 more loop behind your thumb, and then it is Mammon. Mammon or Corgan, actually, if you really want to be anal retentive, Mammon has you joining F2 instead of F1. Hey, how's your crab?
It's boiling.
Okay. Albert might be able to join us for Eula Earl as well. That would be kind of fun. Yep. And apparently the 25th would crash with Doctor Who. So we don't want to do that. So, what? But Doctor Who, the re-release or whatever of Doctor Who, let me turn this around. You can hold that. Oop. Mess. Viking clothes. We came here in Viking clothes. They looked at us funny at the gas station. Here you go. Hold that. I'll find the comment. It's in here somewhere. PJ said, the 25th of November is the long-awaited return of Doctor Who. Please don't clash with that. So if you know what's good for you, Carl, you won't be getting drunk while Doctor Who is re-releasing. Shame on you. Did I tell you, though, that we'll get the guy from the camping today? One of the people that we donate all the beer to is going to be coming as well.
Roger Quest?
Not Roger, but his son. I think it's his son.
Yeah, no, that...
Yeah, he works at the grocery store right next door.
I think I've barely met that guy.
Yeah, he's been Viking a little bit in the village, but not too often, because he's got a lot to do. He's young.
Yeah. But you know how much I care about volunteers, right?
Yeah, but he's going to volunteer to drink the beer. He usually just gets the beer anyway, so that'll be fun. Let's see. Albert said it's the pale ales most... Have you tried the Snur Blonde from Eger? The Snur Blonde beer?
No.
No, we might have to try that one. He's also got the juicy one in front of him, and you know you didn't like that one.
I don't know how to say this, but don't put tropical fruits in your beer. Just don't. Just say no.
Lindsay's here, by the way. She says she's here. She threw a wedding shower yesterday, so it's going to be so that she could get to be here today. Oh, good job. Thank you. I'm glad we did say it ahead of time then, too, instead of this one being a surprise. I was going to ask you, next week, I can hold that again. Next week, Carl, we got Sunday and Monday off?
Yeah.
Okay. So Saturday, there's a good chance we could leave at 2 to start driving out here, and that means we would either be doing YouTube in the car or right when we get here.
Yeah, no, but if we do it in the car, there won't be that much to see because
as long as we
would
have
be driving in dark mountains at the time.
I told him we would be looking like this with Snot running our doors going, did you hear something? That was my plan. So the thing is, do we going to go on Saturday or Sunday next week, do you know?
That, we can kind of leave it up to them. If they want to see us driving...
Does it crash with Doctor Who?
If they want to see us driving in the dark, you can't do any crafts then because you will be actually driving.
Well, there's a slight possibility we're on my ferry, but there is a slight possibility we might be at the... If we're getting close to a signal issue, then we'll have to just stop and wait. 4
hours, we would probably be somewhere in the neighborhood of Norway.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if we go out of range, because we could also drive and you can see the road at night, and maybe the deer will jump out in front of you.
Yeah, that's also a thing. You have the spots where you have no connection.
Yeah, but if there was a spot in Northfjord, I'd
And Norway is like tunnels and ferries.
A lot of them, yeah.
Yeah.
But then we just have to park outside and sit and chit chat. And I'd be able to hopefully show you more needle binding because I forgot my stash. So I
could do
only
that,
have this
but-
much I can needle bind until tomorrow. I'm screwed.
Yeah, but tomorrow you can buy more thread at the grocery store.
Yep. Okay, hold that again. I'll keep reading. I gotta catch up. I see there's a lot here. Did you ever try to buy spices on or anything on Amazon? Apparently they only have a hub in Oslo. You can only have it delivered to.
I have never ever
been a
bought
long
anything
time.
on them.
Texas Pete. Torben wants to know. Texas Pete, is that the enemy of Super Ted? I like that.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Jennifer said, oh, she will totally be able to get it in Florida. Toward if she gets time to shop for it. She said the sassafras root is just a garnish, so if you don't have it, it'll be fine. Tell Jennifer about your discoveries with the sassafras root when you were Googling.
I don't think it's a problem as long as it's the powder.
You're not afraid of being poisoned?
The carcinogenic is in the sassafras oil.
Yeah?
You should avoid the oil. That's what I found out after like 30 seconds of internet searching on sassafras root. But
Oh, I gotta show Mom in after too, yeah?
the way I understand it, the spice is dried root with no oil in it. So it should probably work. I know nothing about this because, well, I'm Norwegian.
Oh, Max says, I was asking what he meant about the memes of Ohio. He says, or Max says, people kept posting those memes about Ohio saying, Ohio is scary or only in Ohio. Come on, people, my state ain't even scary. My God, those people need to drop that shit and move on to something else. I thought there was just a bunch of farms in Ohio.
No, I did see something on the internet where I wanted Ohio to be the new Florida.
Is this the thing? Like
Yep,
the Florida
it
man
is.
thing?
The reason, well, people in Florida are not more or less nuts than people in the rest of America.
Yeah.
It's just that I have something called the Florida Sunshine Laws, which means that everything is public record.
Uh-huh.
So you can see the really stupid police reports in Florida, but you can't see them anywhere else. That is partly true,
Yeah.
but it's also true that you have more convictions for public masturbation in Florida than in the rest of the states in America combined.
Is there a meme about that in Ohio? No. Okay.
So they have some problems in Florida, apparently.
So you could also, there's a whole bunch of memes that say, meanwhile, in Norway, those are quite fun. There was even one with a lady in the gas station slapping her boyfriend with a fish. I'm like, yeah, no, that's Norway for you, but mostly it's snow. The meanwhile in Norway memes.
Trond and Toren?
I don't know if they're slapping each other with a fish.
They're working at the gas station.
I
They're a
don't know.
couple.
Anyway.
And they have access to fish, so I would think.
What goes on behind closed store doors? Jennifer Miller says, I have never used sassafras oil. I have some, I have used, don't go away, there it goes. I have used dry spice and made tea. Sassafras is also used as the base for, no, there's a little arrow there. Sassafras is also used as the base for root beer. I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, that's
Root beer is
correct.
good.
It's
I
used
introduced you
as,
to a root beer float.
The taste of root beer is
Mm-hmm.
the taste of sassafras root, the way I understand it.
Nasty Kid 86, hi, I finally remembered the live stream while it happens. Yay! I like that name, Nasty Kid 86. That could be my kid, actually.
No, your kids is much.
No.
86 is probably.
But no, I have one that calls herself like potato, and the other one calls herself trash. It's horrible.
Yeah, but I am born a long time after 86.
No, a long time after 2009 or when mine are born. Torben says, when people put fruit in beer, it stops being beer and turns into brus, which is soda.
Yep, I would agree.
I think Carl agrees with you there. Okay, let's, there was one about the
mom.
banana.
An exception, but I think the thing I read as banana taste is just a product of the brewery process.
Okay, sit up, you
I
gotta
don't think
hold
there
this.
are actual bananas in Latvian beer, even though it tastes banana-y.
Okay, hold this, Carl. I don't know if it's gonna, I don't think it'll stay because we're on a mattressy thing here. But you gotta sit up so you can hold it so you can see my fingers. Because I'll show the mom in one. She might be thinking of Faubourg. Let's see, we do this. Okay, so I have some red yarn and a needle that is way too big for this yarn, or this stitch in my opinion. I was spray painting things black in the store and it looks like I'm wearing nail polish. Okay, so 3 loops for this one. I have 1, 2, maybe this was a little too ambitious of a yarn length. 3. Lithuanian beer, Carl, says Audra. Oh.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so you have 3. If you're doing Faubourg, you would have 1 behind the needle, or 1 behind your thumb and 2 on your thumb. And you would do this. That's Faubourg. But if you're doing Mammen or Korgen, you have 2
What did
behind.
I say? Latvian bear?
Did you say Latvian? Shame on you.
Yeah, but
Lithuanian.
I'm confused. I thought it I were Latvian, but
No, she's Lithuanian. I was confused a long
Okay.
time ago. Then I got my story straight. Now you're confused.
yeah, no. Seriously, when you have 3 countries that are usually mentioned together, they should start with different letters.
No, so Mammen
So
or
maybe we should rename Latvia to Batvia or something.
try to needle bind here. No, shame on you. Okay, so you got 2 away from the thumb, or away from you, and then you turn and go under 1. That is Mammen. So if you were the other way around, it'll be just as thick. It'll just have a slight difference appearance. But this is also Korgen, where you go 2 away and then 1 front. So if I do a bunch of those, we're getting the needle binding portion of today down. You can either leave the old one on your thumb and take off that one and take 1 more, like that.
But I should go and look at my crabs.
You need to go
because
look
I
at your
have
crab?
the oven at full,
Okay.
full effect.
See if I can find a different way to do this.
Down a little bit.
Yep.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Keyboard. If I have a table here and a bag, it's not going any lower, but this should do. Okay. So, there we are. So this is 2 away. So then, but you could do it that way where you take 1 off, or you could just take it off and you know which is the last 2. Sorry, there. So this is I have to take the 3rd one away. There we go. Old one and that one. Oop. Almost went nuts. Then go through. Now here's a little trick if you don't know which one you've been in. If you're losing track of these loops, for one, try to straighten them away and look here. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And if you can't remember which one you've been in, do you see this loop here? That means you've gone through this one. So you're going through this one where you haven't gone through. So 1 and 2. So if you can't remember which stitch you were doing, that'll help you a little bit to see. Straighten out the crap in the back. There we go. This is an odd angle for me to twist my hand, but we're using the ultimate background of my computer. Anybody else have this problem where you wear out the keys with your fingernail?
How do you have this super big whiskey glass?
I don't have a super big whiskey glass. What are you talking about? Oh, that's not a whiskey glass, you moron. That's a vase. I was using it as a yarn bowl. It's not a whiskey glass. Jesus. No, I moved it out of the way because you, there we go. So 2 away and 1 forward. So that's Mammen. And then, of course, Mammen would mean, or it's also Korgen, because Mammen means that you're joining with an F2. But they're pretty much the same. So a lot of people will call Mammen when it's Korgen and vice versa. But let's see, now I got a knot going on here. There we go. 1, 2, and it looks like this, but straighten it out. There we go. And it looks a bit like that on the front side. This is only 1 row, of course. No, Karen, that's an alcoholic's whiskey glass, says Albert. The back side, by the way, would look like that. And what I meant, I don't have a scissors on me, but I was going to say, if you don't like your end loops, you think they're too big, just ignore them and cut it right about here. Not your working end, but the beginning end. And then just pull out all the loose stuff, and it'll look like you did a really nice tight start in the beginning. So that's a little trick. Don't worry about the big loops. However you start, just cut it off if you think they're too loose on the end. Now, so if you were going to do Korgen, not Korgen, Faubourg. Let's see, this is an awkward angle to stand. There we go. Then I need 2 on my thumb, and I take 1 behind. So 1 and then 2 forward. And I'm not sure how much of a difference this will have this way, but on row 1, but it'll be interesting to see. 1 away, 2 forward. PJ says, I don't know what stitch I'm doing at the moment. It would be O-U-O-U-O-K. You're making me look that one up. I'm horrible at these. This is where Anne is better than me. Okay, let's go to... Do you know how I kind of... This is how I kind of Google it. Whoops, let's see. My camera won't go up. There it is. You think I would learn how to do this now. Okay. O-U forward slash O-U-O. I might have to add needle binding because apparently I'm doing something else. Nalbinding. And then you'll usually get it. If might be, let's see if that's the same one. No, O-U, that is U-O. So I'm gonna have to look that one up a bit more. O-U, O-U-O, still, oh, there we go. It's on this one here. Not that one. I could search it. Oh no, I'm excited here. I'm trying to figure out what this is. Okay, that's it. We're searching it. Control F. O-U. O-U-O. There we are. This is it here then. 1 loop around the thumb, pick it up onto the needle behind the thumb. Behind the thumb, pick up 1 loop onto the needle from the back to the front. So if I did all this, you got 1 loop around the thumb. Pick it up onto the needle. Okay, that can't be right. Behind the thumb, pick up 1 loop onto the needle. From back to front. Well, this is interesting. Tip the needle towards 9 o'clock, it is, and insert the needle over the thumb loop. That was this first one again. And under the yarn. Okay, that's it. We're going to play with that stitch next week. But it would look like this, what she's showing here. This is what she's talking about. O-U, O-U-O, F1. And if you want, it's number 12 here on, it says en.noilakentat.fi 12. And then you can find that one. I have no idea what that one's called. I'd have to look it up. It just says finish stitch 1+1 mirror image with the plaited edge, but that's because you're going over the leader yarn, which would be here. We'd be going over it instead of under it. Under would be regular, over it would be plaited edge. Okay, we're gonna have to play with that one later. You're gonna, oh, back to samples. This will be fun. Anyway, she's probably got a thing for that too. Albert says, same, I need to ask for work on Friday and Monday off. You can do it. Okay, Torben says, working out a plan to get my ass to Gudvangen and drink beer. However, to quote APU, Apu, Nahas, oh my God, how do you say that? Nahasepima petilion, I promise nothing. Did I do that right? I'm assuming we're talking about Apu from The Simpsons.
Russian, but,
I don't know how to, okay. You want to try to pronounce it here? Let's see.
I promise nothing.
You promise nothing. Look, no, not that. No, this name here, right there. Nahasepi Matilion. How do you say that?
No, I don't.
Look. Torben. To quote, if I can't say it, you have to. Okay, and you say it in Indian. How do you say that?
I don't speak with Indian people.
Bad person. Yes, you do. You do too. All day long.
Yes, I do. But I really have to tell their names back to them.
All right, fine. We're pretty inept today. Okay, so we're going to have to try that stitch. That'll be kind of fun. But anyway, at least you know the difference between Mammen and Faubourg. If you've been doing it differently, Faubourg isn't... It has a cool look, so whatever you're doing, just keep doing it. But I have to catch up more here on chat. Bierspo or reverse Bierspo. Is that what... Bierspo, I did the hat on my Instagram, if you go way down, to the hat that you make from the bottom up. I did that in Bierspo, I believe. It's so much easier when I know the name, but there are some people that they only can only do the code. There's at least one Danish lady in particular that can only do the code. And then you have me where I have to have, I'm kind of with everybody else where if you give it a name, then all of a sudden, oh, well, I know what that is. But if you, because you kind of associate it better, but, or if you say one behind, one forward. Bierspo is also with a plaited edge, yeah. I did notice though, when I was doing the mystery, to ruin it for you, the mystery project that we did during COVID. That's also on Instagram. It's a bag. But I had to block the thing every end. Well, what it looks like, you have to look it up. But every time I did a row and I was going to go and take a picture, I had to steam block it, because what I didn't realize is when you're doing a plated edge, the end row, the working row, is always going to want to curl or twist and looks really loose or something. So it was bugging me so much to the point that I couldn't get the picture without the work looking really, it made it look wavy. That was it. And it wasn't wavy because you did one more row and it's not wavy on that row anymore, but your end row is always kind of wavy. Drove me nuts. So I would steam block it for every picture, regretting to hell that I took this stitch, but I was already down the rabbit hole, so I had to do it. So when I finished it off, I actually finished it with a regular non-plated edge, just so that it wouldn't be wavy on the end. I love the look of confusion and utter entertainment on your face.
I'm doing the good boyfriend thing by pretending to understand.
Isn't he cute? Giddy up. Okay, Nella, what's the weather like in Finland? Yeah, we didn't get the update from Helsinki. And are you based in Helsinki? We didn't get the Finland weather. Garcia's husband's going to be in Finland next week. Okay, so when you figure it out, Torben, let me know. If you don't make it, you don't make it, but we'll pick a day and we'll go with it. Let's see. My computer screen needs to reduce in size so I can see things. Jennifer Miller says, I need a whiskey glass that big for bourbon. Enjoy, Carl. You kind of look like Monica on Friends with the big wine glass. What did she? No, it wasn't on Friends. It was the other series, some sort of spin-off. Anyway, she had a name for the big wine glass.
Oh, my crab soda.
Crab alarm! Crab alarm! Nella says, I think I'm about 400 kilometers northeast of Helsinki. Currently, it is supposed to be just under 0 for the week to come, but it will change several times in a week. It was really cold. It was nice weather, but really cold in Gudvang in the last couple days. But we got snow about 2.5 days ago, I think it was. Anyway, about 1 a.m. anyway, it started snowing, which was really good because we left work at 2. I was painting a picture of the Gulgubba, gold foil figures. Look it up, it's really cool. John Markison has a really nice page. So I was painting figures of these things anyway, and I was having too much fun. We're not leaving until I'm done. Look up one figure. It's like the bearded man or something. I don't know what they were calling it. But it's basically a naked guy, and he's holding his beard. And it reminded me of Carl. If you look it up, you'll see what you think. If you think it's just funny too. Anyway, so I was having so much fun painting those. I didn't want to go until I was completely done with the picture so I could dry overnight and I could varnish it in the morning. So we leave at like 2 a.m. and it's snowing and it's snowing and it's snowing and there's no plows or anything out at that time of day. But it is absolutely beautiful to see snow on top of all the Viking houses. So I will have to get a picture posted of that pretty soon on Facebook. Let's see here. But otherwise, over here it was beautiful weather. It's just like a typical fall day. In Selje, it's a bit more open, bright sun and everything, but it didn't. We can actually still see the sun here. We can't see it anymore in Gudvangen. It's gone. It's disappeared. It's just light and then it's not. But there's no ball in the sky anymore. The ground ate it. But it was kind of chilly here today, but still not too bad. Yesterday was cold when we were filming, but we were doing online and guiding right at dusk, so right where it goes from light to dark. So this was between, we started at 3:30 and it was pretty dark at 4:30 p.m. now. Or it was getting dark enough where you couldn't see. It looked a little brighter on camera, which is good, but yeah, it wasn't that bright. But we're like trying to get in the car later and it's like, oh, fingers don't work. Carl had like snot dripping all the way down his beard. It was very authentic. So anyway, color of the month. There's a lot of things going on right now. So we do the color of the month challenge, which is a 2-tone yarn. If you didn't have a 2-tone yarn, you could, making a mess. You can make something with 2 colors and stripe it, or it could be splotchy or whatever. It could be rag yarn where there's 2 yarns, 2 colors twisted together. Here what also would count as 2-tone. So, or it could be like slow ombre effect between 2 tones. But that's what we're using as the color of the month because we pretty much went through the whole rainbow. So next month's going to be real fun. Anyway, but the idea then is you use a little bit of that color or something in whatever you're making. It could be knitting, crochet, it could be painting, whatever you want. Quilting even, but that's the kind of the goal is to use a little bit of it at the end of the month. by the end of the month. Then there's the stash busting. I have to catch up on Instagram. Nella's been helping me massively here, which is really good, and also Lady Voldemort, who her name is Elaine. And they've been helping. We're cheering them on. So basically, you set a goal as to how much you're going to bet. You're gonna say, I'm gonna pick this much out of my stash, and I'm gonna try to get through this by the end of the month. This wasn't satisfying enough for Raymond, so I had to fill this basket. That was satisfying for Raymond, with sock yarn, by the way. I just happened to forget to bring the bag with me to show you. And so it turns out to be 640 grams. This started on Halloween, and my goal, I have way more than 640 grams in stash, by the way, but I'm going to focus on 640 grams and try to finish that by the end of the year, December 31st. If you don't finish, just keep going, because you're getting rid of stash yarn, so it's for a good cause, right? So anyway, we'll see how well we do with that. What I did on mine is I have a good start on the stripy yarn, the multi-toned yarn. I have one hat that's completed in orange, so that's a little over, it's probably about 60 grams because it's a little bit more than one skein. This one is exactly one skein. Exactly one skein. So I want it to be just here. So that's 110, 20 grams we're looking at now.
Yard grams?
Grams, yeah. And then there's this one. I make this look good. Okay.
The famous nipple hat.
The famous nipple hats, yes. Thanks to Anders Hovland. Not the blacksmith, but the one with all the tattoos and the... Anyway. He also kind of looks like the bearded man, Gubba gold foil figure. But it is... this is a 50 gram skein, so it's this much less. And I'm stuck on my yarn. And about that much yarn. He's mine, girls. Back off. I think I'm prettier. We're at 7 o'clock. I mean, almost at 7 o'clock. What does the shrimp look like? I mean, the crab.
The crab looks like crab, and the shrimp looks like shrimp.
We don't have shrimp, though.
No, but it still looks like shrimp. It's kind of a demand for being a shrimp, that you kind of look like a shrimp.
Yeah. See if I've missed anything here. So we have a lot of projects then. We have the... and Maria Lynn Hill. Maria Lynn Hill, if you haven't seen this one, Google, you'll find the page. I think it's a blog spot. Massa af Nalbinding, I think it's called. Massa, M-A-S-S-E, af, A-F. Nalbinding, which is a lot of needle binding, and it's in English too. Just click on the flag. But Maria Lynn Hill has the Nalbinding Christmas calendar. She even has the group on Facebook, but that group on Facebook is for those people who want to make a pattern, which will be released. And if you just want to join in and see what the patterns are, you can follow that. You can see we've been doing it for 5-6 years now, I think. I have no idea. He doesn't know. So I'm just going to look at you like you have the answer. But anyway, I'm going to keep this one, I think. So I think it's every Sunday. We did one where it was every day, but that's a lot of work and a lot of patterns that were needed. But now I think it's supposed to be every Sunday, or in Advent, she will release a new pattern that somebody has made. And I haven't made one this year yet, which I need to get my ass in gear because it's almost Advent and I have to submit one. And it's usually something Christmas themed. So one year I did a red hood. Last year we made you a Santa beard with it's kind of attached like roving. If you didn't know how to attach thrums to needle binding, you can check out that one.
That's also where you made the collar thingy.
The collar, yes, where he looks like Count Nijula, we said. That one is on there. That was my favorite one, the capelet, though, but that one took a long time to do, but it's a good use of leftover yarn. I also made little gnomes. I made a candle, but it looks like for Santa Lucia, but it looks like a Viking tampon, so maybe you don't want to make that one. I think somebody else made a candle that was much better looking. Now we're getting into the really old ones. I made a little teeny tiny sock that you can hang on the tree. But I'm not the only one making patterns there. So go and check and see what everybody does. It's just Google Nalbinding Advent Calendar and you'll find it. But yeah, if you want to make a pattern and submit to it, talk to Maria Lynn Hale. She's on just about every needlebinding Facebook group. Or you can just go ahead and check out what they're making and join too. So we still don't know if we're going to do Saturday or Sunday or Saturday or Sunday next week.
Did anybody say anything about it on the chat?
Garcia says see you Saturday or Sunday. So Anne Rose says, little kids playing and asking for attention. Look at me, Mom. Jennifer's just plain laughing at us. I did the marled yarn. Thank you. That's what it's called. Marled yarn. In Norwegian, it's called a raggargarn. Rag yarn, which is like what they make those socks with. It's the two threads that are twisted together. So you can use marled yarn.
Change color.
Not the ones that are changing. That's very variegated yarn, I think. But there's also the ombre effect, which is slowly shading from one color into another. But marled is where you have the two colors twisted around each other, which is ragyarn, the ragasokker. They like gray and white twisted around each other. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Nella is 400. Yeah, we read that. 400 kilometers northeast of Helsinki. We should go visit. Yeah. So no, I think we're still okay with Saturday or Sunday. So we just have to pick. We will post in advance since we don't know at the end of this episode what we're doing. Look for a post on Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday morning. I'll try to get it out a little bit early. So, or I'll put at least a note on my Facebook page saying.
We start from Gudvangen at about 2.
Yeah.
We are pretty close to here at about 6, but we're not all the way here.
No, but there's plenty of like street lamps we could stand under for a little while, if that's the case. As long as we have internet.
But you also have that's the problem. You also have those pockets where you have nothing. So
we'll have to keep an eye on the decking or whatever, the Wi-Fi. If we have enough, we either stop before and wait, or if it's starting to go down, or we.
Yeah. Shy Birchelo Sandana, somewhere there.
Birchelo would be so nice. It's a lawn handle, but I don't country store, and I don't think we can film indoors in stores in Norway, but not without permission anyway. But they have some of the coolest stuff there. Okay.
And it's kind of an interesting shop because they have products that are completely unique.
6 for us, 7 for you. Yeah.
They have things that the ordinary shops don't have, and they have very little of the chain things that ordinary shops do have.
Yeah.
So everything is different and old.
Oh, it's awesome. No, we love that store. So anyway, yeah, it will still be at the same time anyway. Whichever day it'll still be from 6 to 7. So, okay, we should shut up and go eat crab. All right. See you. Thanks for playing with us. Saturday looks like a lot of trouble. It might be, but I'll get a post up there earlier. I'll try to get a post before we leave Gudvangen, and whether it's going to be on. I'll make a link. It'll be either Sunday or Saturday.
Yep.
So, bye.
Right.
There.